here we go. Another episode of Under Pressure. I'm your host, Carmine. So excited about this episode because I'm here with the CEO of Loggerhead Marinelife Center, Andy Dehart. Thank you so much for being part of Under Pressure.
Well, thanks for having me, Carmine. I love the podcast format, so I'm looking forward to it.
Well, Andy, I always open it up to my guests to let everybody know a little bit about themselves.
Sure. I'm Andy Dehart, President and CEO of Loggerhead Marinelife Center here in Juno Beach, Florida. It's just an amazing facility. We've been a free access facility for 42 years. Our four real program areas are sea turtle rehabilitation, sea turtle research, marine conservation, and education. Couldn't ask for a better job.
Yeah, it's a great gig. I know, and you had your love for just marine biology at an early age. I mean, you knew what you wanted to do at 4 years old.
I did.
How is that possible? Seriously, how is that possible? You nailed it at 4.
Yeah, I'm one of the lucky ones. My dad was a Navy hard hat diver. Got out of the state of Nebraska very early on. Joined the Navy. I think he realized that cleaning the bottoms of ships was a little bit more fun than cleaning the top of ships, scrubbing the deck. So he became a hard hat diver. Always loved the ocean. He read Jacques Cousteau books, saw the early Jacques Cousteau shows when he was growing up. He ended up working for NOAA, and when he was traveling, taught me how to snorkel at the age of 4. At the age of 5, I saw a 6-foot Caribbean reef shark while snorkeling with my dad, and that's a bathing suit soiling and an exciting experience all at the same time.
And then was it love at first sight with sharks then? After, the soiling of your bathing suit?
Yeah, it was.
which I don't blame you.
It was.
At 4 years old to see a 6-foot shark? Yeah, no thank you.
Yeah, it was crazy. I think for me, I loved everything under the water, the reefs, the fish, sea turtles, obviously. But when I saw sharks for the first time, it was, I'm dating myself. It was the late 70s. Jaws was in the forefront of the news. And my experience with a shark that just swam peacefully by, wanted nothing to do with us, it really kind of changed my perception of what was going on underwater, and absolutely fell in love with marine life, sharks in particular.
And what is the biggest misconception then when it comes to sharks? You can't base it off of Jaws. I know that, yeah. But...
There are certainly a lot of them. I think the biggest is sharks are mindless eating machines. Sharks are one, they're not mindless. Sharks actually do have a fairly good intelligence. Their brain is fairly large for a fish. Sharks are fish. You can train sharks in the aquarium environment to come to colored targets or shaped targets. They can bump their nose for food. They receive that positive reinforcement. They'll actually remember that over time. And you can stop training and they'll go back to remembering that behavior. So they're certainly not mindless.
I did not know you can train a shark.
Stunned.
I'm thinking about getting a pet shark now. I don't know if it's a great idea.
I don't advise that.
I know for a fact, though, like a great white shark, you'll never see in an aquarium because they just don't survive in captivity.
Well, that's actually partially true.
Also incorrect?
So the Monterey Bay Aquarium in California actually has been able to keep great white sharks for up to about 1.5 years. What happened was they did get very large. They ended up feeding on things they didn't want the great white to feed on. So they actually had a great tag and release program where those great whites that they held for short periods of time were actually released and did quite well. But yeah, there are species of sharks that you won't see in aquariums. Those that you do, the reason why most aquariums exist is so that people can see things firsthand. They're not going to get an experience at 4 years old to see a shark face to face like I did. So the hope for aquariums is these are ambassadors for their species, that you'll get a better appreciation for sharks, for sea turtles. And that's really what I love about Loggerhead Marinelife Center, the free access. Come see the turtles, come see the patients under our care, but we also have jellies and other aquariums so that people can learn.
Do you have a favorite turtle that's at Loggerhead currently?
I don't. I've had a number over the years. The average stay is anywhere from 3 weeks if it's a simple kind of fish hook in the flipper, or we've had some patients that are undergoing complex treatments that can be there for 9 months.
And how rewarding is it every single time you release a turtle back into the ocean?
It's absolutely the best. And a lot of times we do these public beach releases. Those in the community here in North Palm Beach, Jupiter, Juno Beach, they know that we're going to do these public releases. We put that out on our social feeds. We've had upwards of 2,000 people screaming, cheering, crying. And for me, as someone who gets the pleasure of leading the organization, getting to see our team's hard work, at the end of that, having the turtle make the crawl down to the beach. Sometimes they look back like, hey, am I still going to get free food?
They know the cameras are rolling. That's why it's like, oh, you ham right there.
Yeah,
look at the
they're either that or they're wanting
the
free lobster dinner later that day.
You know what? I might start making my slow. climb towards the ocean. So how gratifying is it that the community gets behind you? Because it definitely is not just a team effort on your guys' part, but the community needs to get involved, whether it's people making sure they're conscious of where the turtles lay their eggs and so on.
This part of Florida is absolutely unbelievable from a turtle perspective. So we monitor 10 miles of beach that basically goes from the MacArthur State Park northern boundary into Tequesta. On that beach, we have upwards of 25,000 turtle nests on any given year. And turtle nesting season goes from March 1st to Halloween. We're seeing that go a little earlier and stay a little later. So for the local residents to understand how valuable that is, there's only one location in the world more prevalent for loggerhead nesting turtles, and that's in Oman in the Middle East. Their numbers are actually dropping. Our numbers are increasing from a population standpoint. So having the local population understand the importance of covering your windows at night, putting red, amber light bulbs on the outside of your house so that really what's happening there is these juvenile turtles, when they hatch out, they go for the brightest light source, which should be the moon. Having people be beach safe. Make sure that if you do build a sandcastle when you're out on the beach or your kids do, knock it down when you leave. Make sure you remove your umbrellas and your chairs. So I think having the local buy-in is critical. And as I mentioned, we're a free access facility. We always have been. We would not exist without the local support, without the donor support to help our operation. So almost a third of our revenue every year comes from personal and foundation giving. Those are donors that give annually to help us operate.
And we'll mention that in a little bit as well. But how can people donate? How can they get it out there?
Best way is go to marinelife.org, and there's a donate button, and we've got a lot of different ways for high-end donors that can do ACH transfers, which we love, or there's just simple credit card ways to donate, and you can always donate at the front door. If people come, we don't expect people to pay as they come in, but we do make donations available.
And I want everybody to know, any bit helps. Like any little bit helps, because you know what? Maybe you can only throw in $1, but if 1,000 people can only throw in $1, it's $1,000, and that goes a long way. And the other place where you said the sea turtles are prevalent, do they have a marine life center there? Is that why they're going down? They have no support?
They don't have a facility like ours. Ours is fairly unique in the fact that we are doing both rehabilitation and the really critical research at the same time. And then we couple that with active marine conservation programs and then the education. So that recipe of those 4 programs for us is really something quite unique. There is not a place like that in the Middle East. We certainly work with researchers over there that are studying what's going on. And I think it's a lot about protections. The U.S. long ago started the Endangered Species Act. All the turtle species that we see here in Florida are protected by the Endangered Species Act. So those protections greatly helped the turtle populations. Most of the sea turtle species take about 30 to 40 years to reach maturity. Oddly enough, those protections went into place about 35 years ago. So this uptick in numbers that we're starting to see now with turtle populations is directly connected to the Endangered Species Act and the protections that those put on the sea turtles here in Florida.
And a sea turtle that's born here on the beach, they make their life out into the ocean. Do they come back to the same beach, or they can end up to the Middle East? Like, what's their migration patterns?
That's a great question. We do actually see site fidelity. So turtles that are born here on Juno Beach, Jupiter, North Palm Beach, we do see them come back to the same area. It's not like a salmon where they come back to the exact same spot, but they will come to the same general 100-mile stretch of beach. And a lot of people think they just come back and nest once. It's different for the different species. So here in Palm Beach, we see leatherbacks, loggerheads, and green sea turtles nest on our beach. Each one of them has a different number of nests that they lay in a given season. Like a loggerhead can lay up to 6 nests in a season. And what we see is that those female turtles, they kind of spread out their nesting activity. They don't do it all in one spot. And we think that's just biologically conditioned.
Like
so
a numbers game?
Yeah, a numbers game. You know, when I play roulette, I don't just play one number, mix it up, put it on some different numbers, play red and black. And that's really what the turtles are doing so that they can guarantee the success of at least one of their nests.
What's your go-to number in roulette?
Mine's definitely 4. That's my lucky number.
4?
Yeah.
I've hit on 7 a few times.
Yeah.
I know that could be cliche, but I definitely try to throw it on 7. So I know you don't have a favorite turtle, but what is one of the stories you could tell us that just pull on your heartstrings?
So for me, it's as someone who's been in the aquarium industry my whole life, I've always been kind of fascinated with the attraction side of things, getting people to see wildlife firsthand. But conservation's always been a close second. My ability to come here to Loggerhead Marinelife Center kind of flip those in reverse. We're still a world-class attraction. We're actually just rated the best free attraction in the United States.
Flex.
Yeah,
Flex,
awesome.
Andy,
yeah,
you earned it.
I'll scream it every day. But I think for me, this was a chance to put conservation first. So when I came here, I tried to really get to learn what was going on. I've been involved in veterinary medicine through the aquarium side a lot, but getting to see our patients come in, I spend time in the hospital. We have one of the most amazing veterinarians I've ever worked with that's on our staff. So seeing what she's been able to do, but then I've also been able to go out with our research team. And one night last year, I was on speed dial. I said, hey, if you guys get a leatherback, I've never seen a leatherback, call me. So at 3:00 in the morning, I sleep in my clothes, phone rings. And they said, hey, we've got a leatherback on Seminole Golf Course Beach. Do you want to come check it out? So I race over there. Yes. They pick me up on one of our ATVs, and then we drive down. So our team is like an F1 pit crew. And I just watched the F1 race last weekend. Our team puts them to shame. The turtles there, they've got about 10 minutes to draw blood, take measurements. Sometimes we even take weights on turtles that are 1,000 pounds. We have this tripod.
That's a massive turtle, dude.
Massive.
Holy
so we have
crap.
a tripod that we can lift these turtles up, actually get their weight, and that allows us to see their condition over the season. So all the work was done in 10 minutes. She was plopped back down. She's starting to bury her eggs, and they get a call, and there's another leatherback. They said, well, do you want to go to the other leatherback? Or I know it's late. Do you want to go to your car? I said, is there a chance I can just stay here? So I just kind of sat on the dunes a safe distance away and spent the night with Emerald, the leatherback sea turtle, and she was roaring like a dinosaur, grunting, groaning, finished burying her eggs, and then I just watched her go off into the ocean in the moonlight. And man, I've had some crazy encounters with grizzly bears, 16-foot tiger sharks, bull moose up in Colorado. I'm a wildlife fanatic. This was hands down one of the coolest things I've ever done.
I'm just fascinated that your years of being a marine biologist, you've never seen a leatherback up until that point.
Yeah, it's rare. They are a rare species. Ocean encounters, they typically live in the deep ocean waters. They feed almost exclusively on jellyfish. Mm-hmm. So they're in the kind of the Gulf Stream. When they leave us, a lot of them head all the way up to Canada. We've satellite tagged a few of our turtles that they go all the way up to Quebec, hang out up there for the winter. I don't know why they go to Canada for the winter and not down here for the summer. They should probably do that in reverse. But so they go up there, they eat a lot, and then they come down, they bulk up, and then they're back for nesting season. So leatherbacks are not something you see scuba diving on a regular basis, and they're a heavily protected species, and unfortunately their numbers are slowly increasing, but they were pretty depleted for a while.
And there's no way I'm not going to touch on those close encounters with all those animals you've mentioned. So let's go with the tiger shark first.
Yeah,
16-foot tiger shark.
Tiger shark was my specialty, working with sharks. At the age of 16, I had the great fortune to do an Earthwatch project. So Earthwatch is an organization that takes just armchair, average citizens and puts them in the field doing actually applied conservation.
That seems dangerous.
It's awesome, and it's a great organization. So if you have a passion for birding or even going on safari in Africa and you want a mission-based trip, Earthwatch actually puts you in the field as part of a research project. So my parents knowing that I had this fascination for sharks, I think they might have wanted to get it out of my system before I went away to college. So I got to go to Bimini in the Bahamas and work with University of Miami Shark Lab there. And while I was on assignment there, we pulled up a 13-foot tiger shark to do some tagging work with. But it turned out, because it had been on the long line too long, the head of research there says, well, someone needs to push this thing around. And off the boat I went.
16-year-old you was like, I'll do it.
I'll do it. So that kind of started this love for tiger sharks in particular. And then tiger sharks were my gateway into working with Shark Week. So because I'd also worked with tiger sharks in the aquarium setting, I got to open an aquarium in Omaha, Nebraska, the place that my parents fled to get to the coast. And we were able to be one of the only aquariums to try to keep a tiger shark. We were fairly successful, but they are a difficult species in aquariums.
Just the travel to get to Omaha.
Yep.
Not really close to any ocean.
No, we put it on a C-130 cargo plane with 6 other sharks, and they had a private VIP suite. It was not cheap.
We talked about the movie Snakes on a Plane. You had sharks on a plane. Totally different dynamic. And I know tiger sharks will eat pretty much anything. I mean, there's been license plates found in tiger sharks. Is there anything really like a tiger shark would not eat?
So that was my first Shark Week show. Was Shark Feeding Frenzy was the name of the show. I think back in 2007, my daughter was just born, and one of the stunts. Again, it's not a scientific experiment. It was a stunt. We had a fake sea turtle flopping around at the surface, and then I was on a surfboard at the surface to see whether the tiger shark could figure out whether it was a turtle or a surfer that it wanted.
Was that another one you volunteered for? Someone's like, "Hey, who wants to be the decoy?" And
I think
once again, hey, me.
I think I was volunteered, but I was happy to do it. Just having worked with these sharks, again, they are not mindless eating machines.
Yeah.
They are actually fairly intelligent. This was a shark named Emma that still is at a place called Tiger Beach in Grand Bahama off the west end. So the funny thing is tiger sharks do experiment with feeding. So they're really feast and famine animals. They'll eat a huge meal, then they'll go till they're really hungry. And because sharks don't have hands, they actually have only one thing they can feel with and taste with, and that's their mouth. So they will sample. They'll sample bite, and oftentimes they actually don't have their teeth really kind of pushed out, so they can mouth something, and you'll actually you won't even get cut if they're not really biting. They're just mouthing something. So tiger sharks are known to sample a lot of different things. There's been license plates, car bumpers, suits of armor. At this show, Feeding Frenzy, we were able to feed Emma a 44-pound Christmas ham that was as big as my chest. But while doing that, she was so calm, we were able to actually remove our cameraman actually swam up and pulled the hook out of her mouth while she was eating. So just really cool stuff. But unfortunately, one of the only things that will eat an adult sea turtle is a tiger shark. And they have this symbiotic relationship where tiger sharks have actually evolved to have turtles as one of their main prey items. But turtles have also evolved strategies for how to evade them as well.
Nature is a beautiful thing. It's beautiful. It's also sad at times, but at the end of the day, that's just nature being nature. And when you're under the water, though, filming or just in that moment, do you forget where you are for a second? Is it hard to kind of just keep your wits about you? Because it's probably easy to get distracted with a lot of things around you. And the scariest thing is because you could have a shark, you could have a big marine animal. You really can't hear them coming up. It's not like they're making noise behind you in the leaves or the grass.
Yeah, it's much scarier to drive on I-95 to Miami. It's far more dangerous, far more scary.
That is true.
Someone using an on-ramp as a passing lane. I'll take underwater with big sharks.
Or there's just the slow drivers all the way in the left lane.
Yeah. Checking Facebook while you drive.
Feed a 44-pound Christmas ham to a tiger shark any day.
Any day.
And drive next to Granny on the highway.
Any day.
I guess we have that. So what kind of events do you have coming up at Loggerhead? I know you guys are constantly doing some really awesome stuff. Yeah,
so obviously World Oceans Day is coming up. We've got an amazing film festival that's coming up in June around World Oceans Day, World Oceans Month. So check our website, marinelife.org, for that. But we do have events that go year round. The best thing is we're open 363 days a year. The only days we're closed are Thanksgiving and Christmas. But other than that, we're open 10 to 5. It's a free access facility. We hope people donate, but if they don't have the means to, we certainly don't expect that. Come see what we're doing. At any given day, we might have anywhere from 14 patients to our highest, which was 53 patients at one time. Annually, we do a couple big events. Go Blue is an awards luncheon that we do every year down at the Carmine Center, and that's really a way for us to recognize people doing amazing marine conservation work in the community and in the United States. It's not just local people that are awarded. That's October 24th at the Carmine Center, and it is a luncheon recognizing people doing good work in conservation. Our biggest event every year is Turtle Fest, and that's the last weekend in February every year. And we do that to kick off turtle nesting season. We want to build awareness around sea turtle nesting. This was the first year that we had it for 2 days. We had 16,000 people in 2 days. Wow. Unbelievable live music. We've just have amazing music lineups every year. We have a partnership with Vida Caña Rum, based out of Texas, where they have a turtle on their logo. And then we also have a partnership with Sailfish Brewing Company up in Fort Pierce, where we're actually featured on their hazy IPA can. So both of those, as well as Tito's, are great partners for us. So between the live music, the beverages. We've got activities for kids like a climbing wall, the seaside slide. And then we've got amazing craft vendors that just have great jewelry, great housewares. So that's my favorite party of the year is Turtle Fest. I'm always exhausted at the end of it.
I want to do a live episode of Under Pressure out there. I think we should definitely set that up. What about volunteering? How can someone volunteer? Because I also thought about doing that, like be in the day of a marine biologist. In your case, I want to be in your shoes for one whole day. Andy, how can I make that happen?
Well, it's hard to do it for just one day. So we have over 400 volunteers that are committed to our organization, and they actually represent about a third of our staffing. So we couldn't operate without these volunteers, and they're actually volunteer staff. They don't just come in, do what they want to do. They are critical to our operations. Anywhere from we actually have people who are certified veterinarians that help in the hospital. We have people that help with the turtles in the rehabilitation process. We have a lot of interpreters that are out in the outdoor turtle hospital, getting to talk to guests about what each turtle is facing, what issues it has, what its prognosis it is, what are the main conditions that we see. So really from the volunteer standpoint, again, best place to go is our website. We do require a 4-hour shift once a week. Mm-hmm. We are able to do seasonal ones. We recognize that a lot of folks here don't spend a whole year here in Palm Beach County.
They go to Quebec.
They go to Quebec, Toronto, New York, and we're happy to have those folks because our busiest season is when the seasonal residents are down here. So we actually do have ability to take sabbatical and leave for a portion of the year. But really, the commitment is in most areas to volunteer. It's 4 hours a week.
Because I would love to just see the way the hospital operates, because it's not like the turtle could fill out something on a chart and it's like, oh, my pain level's 7. Like, how do you go in treating a turtle, or if they even have to be put under? How does that work?
Great question. We have a chief science officer named Dr. Heather Barron. She's one of quite honestly, the best veterinarian I've worked with in 30 years of working with animals. Not just because of her expertise and her veterinary acumen, but she really has this open way about her in that if we have donor tours or a special group, or you see a little kid and the hospital's not busy, she's very welcoming, bringing folks into the hospital. We've got kind of a sanitary, safe area to stand. She'll interpret what's going on. We also have windows in our hospital so people can come up. We're in the process we've always had an outdoor television. Mm-hmm. We just did $1 million hospital renovation at our campus. So we're in the process of putting those cameras back up, the outside TVs back up. I keep threatening to put a Britney Spears microphone on Dr. Barron. I don't think she's ready for that just yet, but maybe
as long as she doesn't dance like Britney's been dancing on Instagram, I think she'll be good. Just get the microphone for sure.
Yeah,
that would be funny.
Stay in the scrubs.
Yes, stay in the scrubs. Keep the scrubs on. Yeah. And I love that, because just how you fell in love with everything when it has to do with the ocean at 4 years old, you can inspire the next Andy. The next Andy could be out there seeing a turtle operated on, or the next top vet. And that's just such a cool experience that you're not going to get anywhere else.
Yeah, that's our hope. Obviously, we're very lucky to live here in Palm Beach County and to live near the water. But despite that, we know that there's kids 3, 4, 5, 10 miles away that have never been to the beach. I mean, and that's a shame. And a lot of it's about access. So we have free beach access. We have free parking. We're able to access the campus for free. And really, we do want to move the needle. And, a lot of it's about exposure. So we're looking at ways. We have scholarship programs for our summer camp. So we run summer camp all summer, and it's a marine biology focused summer camp for various age groups. And we have scholarship programs for those that can't afford that summer camp. Amazing group of donors like the Perry J. Cohen Foundation, Bob Mail, others that really help us underwrite quite honestly, dozens of scholarship opportunities at camp every summer. But that is the hope, that for those that don't have the ability to go scuba diving or go snorkeling, or maybe this inspires wanting to learn how to scuba dive and snorkel, that they see a turtle face to face. We do have 3 outdoor aquariums that have local fish from the mangroves, the coral reef. We've got these bright blue parrotfish. We have jellies. We've got little stingrays. So we do hope that the budding marine biologist of the future has an experience with us, and we're now developing programs that we can keep them in. So hopefully at elementary school, middle school, high school, and even beyond. We also do veterinary internships. So those that have kind of made it through the gauntlet of college and they've made it into vet school, they can come back and learn how to do marine veterinary work, because that's not taught. Mm-hmm. It's cows, pigs, horses, dogs, cats. You're not going to get a sea turtle at a vet school.
Yeah, I did not know that.
So I think for us to be able to, we do consider ourselves very much a teaching campus for those that want to get into the marine side of veterinary medicine.
And you were talking about the summer camps. For families that could be listening right now that might not have the financial means to go to the summer camp, how can they apply for one of those scholarships?
Same thing. If you go onto our website, we do try to keep that website the best source of information. The other option is to dial our number that's found on our website and ask for the education department, saying that you're interested in scholarship opportunities. We have an amazing education team. As I mentioned, it's one of our 4 pillars of work that we do is education. Our founder, Eleanor Fletcher, was huge in education. She started what was originally the Juno Beach Children's Museum. That's how Loggerhead started. It evolved into Loggerhead Marinelife Center, and we've had, obviously you've seen it over the years.
Yeah.
We've gone from very humble beginnings to the campus that we are now.
It's always cool to see that, to see from inception to what it is today, and something that wasn't even intended to be a marine life center becomes such an incredible place that does so many incredible things for the turtles. I mean, I just love how everyone is Team Turtle. There's very few animals that everybody is on board with like turtles.
Yeah. There's, everybody, in my other nonprofit world, it's like, man, you guys cheat. You get to use baby sea turtles to fundraise, right? So it is kind of cheating.
Use what you have. That's what I always say.
Use what I have. And I think it is really about being mission driven. I think what Loggerhead Marinelife Center has done very well for 4 decades is really be very focused. We try not to branch out too deep. We are just now in the marine conservation space trying to get involved in habitat restoration, so seagrasses, mangroves, coral reefs, and we're in our infancy doing that. But it is tied back to turtles. These are the ecosystems that the sea turtles are in. Locally, the green sea turtles in particular are getting this viral disease called fibropapillomatosis. That's a mouthful. We call it FP for short.
Killer Scrabble word, I'm sure.
Exactly. I haven't been able to use that yet. I'm not even sure I can spell that by myself, but we'll see.
I misspelled pomegranate the other day on a ticket for a pomegranate martini. Oh, really? And my bartender goes, "What is that?" I was like, "You know what it is. All right, we're not going to do a spelling bee right now.
We'll draw it, right? Pictionary." So we're seeing this viral disease happen in the green sea turtles near us. We know, so when a sea turtle is born, they run down the beach, they flop down the beach, mm-hmm. They go due east, and they go out to an area in the Atlantic called the Sargasso Sea, where the sargassum weed line is. Mm-hmm. And they stay out there from 3 to 5 years, getting some growth on them. There's abundant food, little worms, little crabs, shrimp, but they are also food for other things. Baby sea turtles have we think about a 1 in 1,000 chance of reaching adulthood and maturity. So they're food for things, and they eat other things. But when they come back to the nearshore waters at age 3, between 3 and 5, we see them start breaking out with these white cauliflower-like tumors that are on their head, their neck, their flippers, even sometimes their eyes and in their mouth. And we do believe in some ways it's related to water quality. So you'll see antibiotics to this viral disease when they're out in the blue water, but you're not seeing the manifestation of those tumors until they get to nearshore waters. So that is an area where we're interested in studying and working with others like FAU and other partners in the county to really maybe get a little bit of a handle on what's the water quality. It could be metals, it could be phosphate pollutants. We don't know. There's obviously a lot of issues.
Unfortunately, it's us. We're to blame for that. It's not just plastic we have to worry about now. It's just people constantly polluting in the ocean. It's just we don't make it easy. We don't make it easy on the animals, do we?
We don't. But I think again, my kids, I've got a 17-year-old and a 14-year-old. I think they absolutely have climate anxiety and environmental anxiety. I think we hear too often doom and gloom. The oceans are dead. The reefs are dead. They're dying. In the science world, there is still absolutely hope. And we know from the coral restoration work that's happening, you can protect some areas. You can bring local reefs back. Is it harder than it's ever been? Absolutely. But you can fix local issues. You can deal with invasive species. So for me, that's what I love about Loggerhead. We're not a doom and gloom organization. We're a hope spot. And I think that's what makes those public beach releases of the turtles so powerful. People want to see that environmental hope. And when they see a turtle that's gone through a boat strike, having its shell cut open or a flipper amputated, but then they're going back into the ocean, there's something really powerful and hopeful about that. And that's what I love about Loggerhead Marinelife Center. It's hope.
I mean, it is definitely a big thing on hope because 1 in 1, you said 1 in 1,000 chance of survival.
Roughly, yeah.
And that's just once they get in the water. It's
exactly.
like we're giving them that head start. It's like, we got you. Make sure you smile before you jump in the ocean, and then good luck. And then for them to deal with everything else, a boat propeller, tiger sharks. As much as we love tiger sharks, you know, they have to deal with them as well.
Absolutely.
So it's just such an awesome thing you do, Andy. I wish I had a better word than just awesome, because
it's an
the things
word,
you do, it is very overused, especially by me, because I think a lot of things are awesome, but what you guys are doing is truly awesome. Andy, this has been so much freaking fun, and I truly cannot wait to get out to Loggerhead, because, you know, I will do my best to volunteer. Kristen's going to be like, you got to do stuff for the podcast, but I'm like, no, I want to go to Loggerhead. I could also use it for content as well. So one more time, tell everybody how they can get in contact with you personally, Loggerhead, and everything that you guys have to offer.
Yeah, so best way to get any of the information on what we're doing, our public beach releases, go to marinelife.org. It's our website, but we also have an amazing Facebook channel, Instagram. You know, use the platforms that you're comfortable with. Any of the public beach releases, any of the summer camp stuff. The third Wednesday of every month, we have a By the Sea lecture series on campus where we bring in visiting marine scientists. Sometimes it's our own staff, underwater photographers. All that's shot out through all of our social media presence and on our website as well. So marinelife.org, connect to us on social, but most importantly, just come visit. You know, now's awesome time. The car carriers are here. The local population has dropped. You can get into a restaurant. Come visit Loggerhead when it's a little bit more elbow room, and come see what we're doing.
Go enjoy some fine dining. Go to the Twisted Tuna. It's not too far from you guys. Get some good grub, and then go check out the turtles. That's how you plug right there. Did you see that? That is how we do it. But seriously, Andy, it's been a pleasure. I can't wait, like I said, to get out to Loggerhead. That is another episode of Under Pressure. You can consume it anywhere you get your podcast. We're also on YouTube as well. And I'm definitely looking forward to checking out and being part of Loggerhead going forward.
Sounds great.